didn't know that spirits could physically harm you.
It's a well.
I've got to make it to the door.
Stone circles, poltergeists and fear. Avebury, is it haunted?
I believe in ghosts.
Hello and welcome to Most Haunted. Now, the village in Avebury is one of the most paranormal places in Great Britain. It's surrounded by these amazing stones, and it's said that it's haunted by an old druid priest.
These stones are over 4,000 years old. They weigh over 40 tonnes, and similar to other stone circles, no one really knows what they were put there for.
The village of Avebury itself sits inside the centre of the circles. Now, one of the buildings here, the Red Lion pub, is supposed to be terribly haunted.
The Red Lion pub dates back to 1802, but the actual building goes as far back as the 1600s. There are supposed to be 4 ghosts here, one of which is Florrie, who was killed during the Civil War, supposedly by her jealous husband.
One presenter, a psychic, a parapsychologist and a very brave film crew are spending 24 hours to uncover the mysteries of Avebury. Now, to help us get through the night, we've got our usual fearless, faithful crew. We've got the very handsome Mark on camera, the very gorgeous, sexy Martin on sound. The rest of the crew, give us a wave. Ooh, they're very quiet today, aren't they? Now, we've also enlisted our usual experts to get us through the night also. Now, Jason, we're covering 2 locations, the stones themselves and also the Red Lion pub. So, how are you going to try and catch any paranormal activity here?
Well, we're going to use a couple of different things, as we always do. Today, in particular, one of the things I'd like to do, because the circle of stones is sort of very important paranormally to a lot of people, to sort of join in with that theme, if you like, we're going to do an experiment of movement of objects, because there's been some poltergeist activity reported in the pub. So I'm going to place coins around the well in the pub and see if they move. I'm also going to use, both inside and outside, one of the EMF detectors that we've used in the past. This one is particularly calibrated for use outside, so if we pick anything up at all on this, we'll know straight away it's not due to any natural electricity lines or any plugs, etc., that we sometimes get inside. So we'll be using that. Perhaps not quite so scientific on the end as well. We're going to use
Cooking, are we?
some cooking flour, yeah. Now, in the past, what we've done is sprinkle this, a very light dusting over sort of surfaces of tables, chairs, etc., where paranormal events have happened. Leave the room for a while or the area, come back, and sometimes you find that there are markings in the flour which can't have been made naturally. We've caught handprints, etc., with this in the past. So we're going to do that in the restaurant area of the Red Lion pub, where a lot of poltergeist activity with movements of chandeliers has been experienced.
In the 3 years that I've been manager here, there's been some very bizarre goings on. Starting from the day that we moved in, and then I thought, what have we done?
Well, apparently, during the Civil War of about 1643, Florrie's husband went away to the wars, and while he was away, she became unfaithful to him. And when he came home, he found out, and in a fit of rage, he strangled her. And the story has it that he deposited her body down the well, which of course wasn't in the pub then, it was outside. It was the village well. And that's the story. But when we put a diver down, we fixed up a gantry over the well and put a diver down. When he got down to the bottom into the water, which was about 85 to 90 feet, there was a great big boulder down there and he couldn't get past it. So we still don't know whether poor old Florrie is down there or not.
Florrie doesn't like men with beards, allegedly. And we had a guy in the restaurant who was slating, you know, it's all rubbish, it's all rubbish. And the chandelier just started spinning over the top of him. And he left hastily after that.
There was, for instance, a hunting horn used to be up over the top of the bar there. That flew off and came hurtling into the bar. One of the barmen here, he used to shave just round here, because he got a beard, you see. And the glass flew off the wall and hit him straight in the face.
I heard all the stories, you know, about the ghost called Florrie, but I kept on getting her name wrong one night. I kept on calling her Floey. So all the restaurant lights just tripped out, and there's 3 trip switches that do the restaurant. All of them had gone apart from the one bulb that was still left on, and we just couldn't understand how this one bulb was on, but all the trips were out.
Oh yes, this place is definitely haunted, inasmuch that the number of people have come in here and know there's something. I took one lady up to, she said it's upstairs, I think. Took her up and we went round the different rooms. She walked into one room and she said, "This is it," she said. "The feeling is there straight away." She said, "There's something or somebody in here now." I said, "Well, I can't see them." So she said, "No, you won't."
The stereo in the mornings, the last thing I do is turn it off at night, come down to where we're sitting now, and it just started playing automatically, and it's a CD player, so it can't just trigger itself off.
I'm sure Florrie's haunting the Red Lion because, I don't know, it's one of those things that you've got a feeling for. And in a way, I love her.
Most haunted room is definitely the private room. People tend not to try and stay in there if possible, if they've stayed here before. And if people do stay there, it's icy cold, even though there's heating. I dare any member of your crew to stay in the private room alone.
You'd be surprised the number of people that come in here, and this is perfectly true, I'm not pulling your leg, and say, "Is there something about this place?" And I say, "Spiritually, or, you know, yeah, there's a feeling about it."
Well, tonight, I think possibly quite a few things will happen. We're obviously surrounded with spirits here, and the ghost of Florrie is somewhat a sort of local phantom celebrity, if you like. With there being so much alcohol around, I'm a little bit dubious as to whether that will perhaps interact with some of the experiences here. We're trying to keep that not the case, but who knows? We'll see later on. Well, the 3 circles of stone at Avebury do have an enormous sort of paranormal significance to a lot of people here. That does mean that people have sort of auto-expectation or auto-suggestion of what may happen to them. The ghost stories associated with the stones aren't perhaps what you would expect. You'd probably expect things like pagan rituals and ceremonies sort of reenacting themselves. That isn't quite the case. I'll be interested to see if people do pick up on the more subtle ghost stories associated with the stones themselves.
Well, this is the main dining room area where apparently a lot of poltergeist activity occurs. Bangs upstairs, things moving are often heard, and things down here, objects, are moved around mysteriously. But I suppose the main bit of activity here would be in this bay area, and the chandelier likes to move on its own. Up these stairs are 2 of the most haunted rooms in the whole of the Red Lion pub. Well, this room is what's known as the private room, and there are supposed to be 3 ghosts here. There is a lady called Beth who sits and writes a letter on the table in the corner, and then there are 2 children that are supposed to be cowering in the corner. The general feel of this room by many of the guests is a feeling of horrible oppression, not very nice, quite a sad feeling really, and many people have asked to leave. It just feels very cold to me, that's all. Oh well, we'll see later. This is known as the Avenue Room. There are supposed to be 2 ghosts in here, one male and one female, though nobody knows who they are.
With everything set up for the night shoot and Derek Gacora's prompt arrival, we could afford a little time to relax and enjoy our dinner before the long night ahead.
Jason, is it at all possible that buildings or places like this Avebury with all the stone stuff actually hold memories?
Well, it's one of the sort of standard theories that's put forward to explain ghosts, and that is where, if you can imagine a recording tape that records sound magnetically, stones that sort of buildings are made of have magnetic sort of properties in them, and it's believed that the stones themselves act as a recording device and actually play back things that have happened in them, sort of events, emotions, and maybe even scenes from the past.
Derek, why is it that some ghosts seem to hang around that they've obviously been here for thousands or years? Why do we still see them? Don't they want to sort of disappear and go off into heaven, as it were?
Well, to a larger degree, Yvette, it is exactly that. I mean, they have got their opportunities and choices, okay, to seek a way to leave the atmosphere. However, a lot of them, as I understand it, do stay around for a long time, but it's the residual energy that's still left, i.e., you know, the property, the fabric, or what have you, that they once dwelt and experienced life and their life's experiences.
Okay. Now, this is the dining room, as we know. Are you picking anything up here at all, Derek?
Yes, I'm very aware of quite a strong presence of a lady. My mind, my attention was drawn to the lady, and for some reason, on the psychic levels, would you believe it, Yvette, I'm drawn to the manager.
Our manager?
Yeah, thank
There
you.
he is.
Richard, I was very interesting because it's in no way is it meant to alarm you, but this lady, it really isn't, honestly. Yeah. This lady seems to be following you around at times, and I feel psychically that she's trying to make me aware that you are at times aware of movement, and she is so strong, and you know, she draws, and there's no harm to you, she draws off your energy. She likes you. It's like attracting like. Is that the name, Sam? Florence. 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 Okay, thank you. I'm just trying to, as it's coming through, I've got something to link, and a man's voice says, to the great name of Arthur. I got this three times earlier, and there's great links with something to do with great Arthur.
Ooh.
King, thank you, King Edgar. King Edgar. The woman's voice says to me, I'm King Edgar's wife. I belonged originally here.
Blimey, that's...
This belongs to me. Where is my husband? Where is King Edgar? She says, bless you. She walks around still looking for this soul.
What, Jason?
So this is the King Edgar, the connection with the woman's King Edgar in the 9 or 1000s is Florence.
I take it must be Florence.
And that was King Edgar's wife.
Well, this is what I've just been given.
Okay.
I'm just trying to, as it's coming through.
Do you want to have
pinpoint
a walk through and see where we go?
Yeah. Also, a little boy. Are you aware of a little boy here?
Are you?
Whoa!
Yeah.
Wow, he runs round and he's so excited at times, he's like a whirling dervish. Zoom! And he goes through at speed. And if he goes so fast, he goes past and people go, oh, what was that?
Does that happen?
Yeah, that is true, yeah.
He's lovely. He's a cute boy. He had his life taken from him.
Here?
Taken away, yes, here.
Really?
Yes. There was got this before. There was ritual killings on this site.
What kind of ritual killings?
Sacrifice.
Of people?
Yep.
For what purpose?
Children.
Children?
Children?
Sacrifice.
Yes.
Oh, dear.
Why?
Maids as well, young maids. Young maids who had children.
Who was sacrificing them and for what purpose?
People that were, a woman's voice said, this was before the smugglers. Oh. Is there tunnels with the smugglers? Okay. There's tunnels at this property.
Do you know of tunnels?
I know of one, yeah.
Is it connected to smuggling?
I honestly couldn't tell you. I know it's all been blocked up now.
It's broken. The tunnel's broken. There's been two foundations originally from the tunnelling. One to something that's quite close, that is can be seen by the eye. And before that, redirection of tunnel to something that's 6 or 7 miles away.
Let's move on.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. You see, someone from Spirit has come into this room.
They have?
Want to come into this room here now. Someone wants to wave. That seems to be like the symbol to me of a person that was either practicing in his time, practicing as a magician, because I get all the symbols of the thought patterns coming in similar to what a magician.
How far back is this?
I feel this is, this is probably going back to between 10 and 11 of the hundreds, and he was something to be reckoned with, in the essence that he had control over people's, or he gave the impression that he could control people's thoughts. And he goes back very strongly to the basis of Avebury, very strong.
There's wind blowing down the chimney.
It's not a ghost.
Someone's just said to me, there's a so-called legend. Sam's laughing about this. I hope I can share this with you. Sam says there is a so-called legend. That has it been written and been passed through and down to say that is it Merlin? Merlin, thank you. That Merlin is close by. That is not so. That is not so.
Is that true? Is there a legend to say that?
Well, Merlin's quite close
Merlin
by.
is, the legend of Merlin is connected to Glastonbury, which isn't far away.
He's... Sam says he is not in any way buried behind that stone.
Here?
Something to... No, not here.
Yeah.
But something, it's a structure, and he's not there.
Right.
Legend has it that he's there. Legend also has it that he's in...
Legend also has it that he didn't exist at all. And
Yes.
He's a legend in himself.
Yes. Can I just say what Spirit said? There was no existence of this soul. He's not on any spiritual log or agenda, so he didn't exist.
He's not on the spiritual register.
No.
Let's move on.
Okay. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Oh, now I know all
With
about
me.
Merlin.
Oh,
Come on.
God.
Do you want to go in there?
Yes.
Just wait there. Oh,
So, look, these bedrooms are active, you see. Now, coming in here now, I get this very young, not as young as the little boy, but a very young girl, her essence comes here. I feel with her as well, because of the view and her age, the word virgin comes to mind with me, of the, virginal child, which was like, to them I feel must have been a supreme thing. Now, where the boy's concerned, it's a different matter altogether. Why he would be sacrificed. Maybe the feelings that come through is that he couldn't be of much use because he wasn't strong or whatever, and he was no use to at that time. A totally different reflection to the girl. And also I feel also that they would have come from families that would not have, if I may use that word, batted an eyelid if a child was to be lost. So it wasn't as if they were just taken away from a noble family who would miss the children and what have you, as if it was, I suppose, the feeling I get in saying is like to a penny, you just, it's nothing.
Do you want to move from here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Horrible parents.
Yeah, well, that's what I get. this place here is, at times, very active, but I feel that these souls here can be... There's more kindredness to them. Also, can I just say, because I was very aware, and I'm drawn now out to the front because, you see, I saw, firstly, a carriage with 4 horses, and I heard the clipping of the hooves and the carriage being drawn up and what have you. And then another carriage. There seems to be 2 carriages. But outside, I feel that these carriages, at some time or other, have been heard, experienced.
Well, we'll go outside and wrap up warm. Okay. Shall we go downstairs?
Yes.
Before we ventured outside, Jason set up the flower experiment. It was pitch black, freezing cold and very windy.
Blowing a gale.
We were determined to walk around the stones and maybe find out from Derek their purpose.
Oh, it's so eerie. Look at those
Yes.
stones.
It seems as if as we're coming in to the middle of this group of stones, as if I'm hearing repeatedly a chanting. It seems as if I've got a circle of women and I've got a circle of men that are separate. And the men seem to be, to me, it's like, in our work, when a person chants a mantra.
What's the purpose of the chant, do you think? Why are you hearing this? Is it...
I feel, and that's a fact, as we've got the conditions now, which are dreadful, aren't they?
Yep.
You know, early hours of the morning, it seems as if they're chanting, and it seems to be in encouragement of the elements. You know, it's like as if the ladies are looking up and are so happy to see the sun, because, you know, it changes here to complete clear blue skies. And I feel it's the elements,
Some form of nature worship of the sun god. Then,
Yes,
or for want of a better
of
word.
nature, yeah.
Okay.
And it seems very, very, very strong. And again, this is residual. This is not active.
Okay.
It's residual, going back in feeling. I'm not in any way at this point aware. I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but I'm not aware of an individual spirit active in this section at all.
What the hell is that?
What?
Well, what is that?
That's okay.
Oh my
that's,
God, what
that's
is
okay. That's all right. There's
They're 2 people.
2 people.
They're not spirits.
Oh,
Yes. They did look. He did look for a
Well,
moment.
mine had a hood on, and I thought, oh my
It's
God.
the druid priests come to haunt us.
Oh.
There's some really large megaliths over in that way, Derek. Should we move over there and see if you
Yes.
pick anything
Yeah,
up there?
Jason. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
move very slowly, everybody.
Okay. This wind is fierce, isn't it?
Oh.
These stones. My psychic feelings leading as I come very close to them seems to me to be like symbolising a gateway of thought, a gateway. And even though there's 3, this being virtually to the middle of the outer, 2 outer stones, seems to be the lead stone.
Well, it's actually part of an enormous ring. There's not.
Yes.
There's
We've got
98.
Jason.
There's
Yes.
actually 98 of the stones.
But this is the gateway, the 3. And it's got something to do with a belief of something to do with a trilogy.
That,
So-
actu- yeah, that might make sense actually with one of the theories of why the stones are here, because pagan sort of beliefs dictate that part of their faith is the goddess. It's a triple goddess,
Yes.
maiden, mother, and crony, which sort of links in with what you're saying about trilogy. So
Yes, the trilogy
sort
is
of
very
makes
strong
sense.
here, Jason.
yeah,
Absolutely.
let's see if we get anything on the stone.
See, they're not playing up for us, are they?
Well, there should be absolutely no electromagnetic energy
Yes.
at all here. So
Yes.
even like a tiny fluctuation would indicate something unusual.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel that a particular man chanted his own physical mantra before these all joined in, all the followers. He would do this on 3 different occasions within given 24 hours. There were set times. That's it. Thank you, Sam. The trilogy of 3. We set our clock from the 3.
what you're sort of saying there is that this is some kind of timepiece. And that's the theory with Stonehenge, which is near here, isn't far away, another stone circle. But there are actually 3 stone circles in Avebury. I mean, this gives you the impression there's one, but there are 3. We are in one of the 3 stone circles.
OK, well, fine, that's good. Now, that would also help me with this, where I've just been... If there are 3, and it links in with the trilogy of 3, you're going to have, again, with the 3, the main stone. So there would be 3... As you've said, 3 stone circles. So there would be 3 of the likes of the level of this man heading the 3 circles of stones.
At exactly the same time.
At exactly the same time to bring in the power and what have you.
I see.
And you know the moon. Thank you. Sorry, Ivy. The moon. The moon has got a lot to play, not the sun. The moon has got a lot to do with the 3.
Well, it has, because in pagan belief, the sun and the moon are like opposites. The moon represents the feminine, the sun represents the masculine. And
Yes.
the 2 together, the duality of the 2 is very much part of pagan belief, which is intrinsically linked with sites like Avebury and Stonehenge. So it does link in that they would have been perhaps worshipping the moon, if you like, or worshipping the sun, or an amalgamation of the pair.
So was Derek's theory of the stones being a timepiece correct? It's unlikely the truth will ever be fully uncovered. But the weather was getting worse, so it was back to the Red Lion to continue our investigation.
Vet, Jason, Sam was saying to me a little bit earlier on to readdress something because it's most important. And I said, of course, Sam, of course. And he said, you talked about Florence. And I said, yes. And then suddenly he takes me and, you know, I seem to just be taken backwards and falling and falling and falling and falling. And I seem to be at the bottom of something. And I can't get out, and I feel here. Is it this area? It's a well. So Florence is linked with the well, or something to do with the well. Can you find out about something to do with the well?
There is a story connected to somebody being thrown down a well, but it's not in this area.
Right. Can I say to you, the link's up here with a well, and you will find the connection and the link with Florence. Florence is not the wife, okay, as we talked about earlier, of Edgar. Florence is in the well. Florence went down the well.
Why did she go down the well?
She was killed.
Why?
She certainly didn't fall down. She was thrown down.
Who threw her?
I get the impression of 3 men. 3 men.
Derek's spirit guide Sam did not give us any further information about Florrie and the well. We moved to the upper story of the inn, where the crew voted for me to spend time in the heavily haunted private room. I had to face whatever terrors it might hold alone.
You're very brave. I'm that flipping stupid.
Right, now look, just as a little tip, a helpful tip. Even when you go into the bedroom and you sit there in the quiet, okay, which you will, like we all will, if you start to feel any little sensations coming across your forehead, down underneath, like tingling sensation under your eyes, or even to the top of your head, or even to the base of your neck, all you have to do, don't be, you know, panic or anything like that. No,
It's
it'll
easy
probably...
for you to say.
I know, but honestly, it's there. They're not here to hurt or anything. But I just feel that may happen. It may happen in other places. But if it does, just say bless you. You're most welcome, and that gives that individual that reassurance. Okay, that you know you're not going to be scared. They don't want you to be scared. Right. Honestly, you know. However, if you know, I think you know it's quite lovely actually. If you've got your hands out with that and you feel anything of warm sensation or tinkle in your hand, the person's actually holding your hand. I think that's lovely.
Right, don't tell me more. Don't tell me
just...
more. Don't tell me more. I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Okay.
Right then, shall we go?
Just relax.
I can't relax. Okay. I am petrified. I just want to keep looking at the camera because I don't want to look around anywhere else in case I see something. I cannot last an hour like this. What the hell was that noise? and the wind outside is blowing, and it's casting shadows everywhere. Oh God. Oh God. Please don't let anything happen to me. Please don't let anything happen to me. If there's anything in here, please go away. I know it'd be nice to catch something on camera, but I really don't want to do this. And I'm not happy about doing it. One bit. Okay, I'm feeling a little bit of tickling on the top of my head. Oh God, please. Okay, it's gone now. I can't stand anymore. Oh God, that wind outside. It's still tickling on the top of my head. I know you all think, oh God, it's again on top of my head. I can't stand it anymore. I'm sorry, I've got to go. I can't. I know I'm being a complete wuss. I'm just too scared to move now. I've got to make it to the door. Oh, Jesus. Get me out. Carl, Carl. Carl, Carl.
While I was alone and terrified in the private room, next door Jason had embarked on an experience that even he had not bargained for.
Right, that's me alone in the Avenue room, which is supposed to be haunted. I wish I was scared, but I'm not. So we'll see if anything happens. That's the room. It's now nearly 6 o'clock in the morning, and I have once again failed to be scared so far. Luckily I've got a room with a bed, which is nice. Bit of luxury. I can hear footsteps outside here, but I think that's Yvette going into the room next door, because she's just through here. I don't think she'll last very long. She'll kill me for saying that. Come on, orbs. Let's have an orb go past my face. Actually, I'm going to take some DV of the room, because you never know. We might catch something. If there's anything here... Oh, that's just reflection. I thought I had one for a sec there. If there is anything here that wishes to make its presence felt to me, as a complete skeptic at the moment, then if you can create some phenomena on the screen or move across the room, such as what is termed an orb, thank you very much. There was one straight away, I think. Can you show me that again, if you're in the room? Where did you go? Yes. Are you around me? Yes. I could see you. Where are you? Yes, I just saw you go up the bed. Wow. Straight at me. And across the back to the bed. Oh my God, guys. It's like a scene out of The Exorcist. Actually, my heart... Oh my God. I'm starting to get heartburn, actually, which isn't like me. It's not down to Max's cooking. It's probably down to the fact that this is a slightly unusual occurrence happening. It's certainly something I can't explain with these orbs across the bed. If you're here and you want to communicate with me, can I see you across the bed again? Are you still around me? Who are you? Now, what these orbs are, we don't really know, but we do know that you only catch them at haunted places. You can't see them by the human eye very often. It has happened, but it's rare. They do appear on camera pictures, such as digital pictures or single lens reflex pictures, and they also appear on video, which is the most common way of catching them. No one knows what they are, but they're unexplainable. Whether they're connected to ghosts or not, we don't know, but they do appear in haunted places, so it's logical to perhaps make that association at the moment. I have to say, despite my hard outer shell, I am slightly spooked. There. It was just on the bed there, I saw it. This is weird. Oh my god! Shit! Shit! Fuck! It's coming towards me! Fuck!
So even Jason, the most sceptical member of our crew, had given in and fled the room.
Okay.
This was the strange moving object that sent him running. Is this an orb or simply a speck of dust? When our producer Carl went back into the room to retrieve a camera, 2 scratch marks appeared on the back of his neck for no reason.
I just went into the room where we were, the private room. I went to take the camera down. I thought, no, I'll actually take the plug out first. And I leant down to pull the plug, and literally just as I pulled the plug out, I just this sharp pain in the back of my neck.
Right from the word go. I mean, that area up there, the hallway, the 2 bedrooms and what have you, they were, at the beginning, when we first walked in, very active.
I think it's important to remember that there's very little evidence of ghosts hurting people physically, but it isn't unknown.
But this feels like, to me, as if there's been a little bit of diva activity.
Well, divas, as you're calling them, is elemental ghost, which is a ghost that's never allegedly lived as a human being. It's created by negative situations, murders, unpleasant thoughts, and this sort of creates a feeling of negativity, and that takes on an intelligence. That's the theory.
We couldn't let this go. We had to go back into the room to find out who or what had caused the scratches on Carl's neck.
Okay, right.
Safety numbers.
Okay.
It was just here. The locked off camera was up here, and I leant down to this plug here to unplug it, and that's when it scratched.
You. God, it's cold in here, isn't it?
Yeah. Come on, you son of a gun. Let's show yourself. Come on. Let's see how much spine you've got. Very well, it's scratching. Come on. Prove your ability. Show your strengths. I feel you're weak. Come on. If I hold my hands out, scratch my hands. You're most welcome. Let's see you do it.
I didn't know that spirits could physically harm you. I mean, to show marks on you.
I couldn't say whether they gain any, like, satisfaction, pleasure, whatever, because I don't understand them enough. But many years ago, there was a lady come to see me when I was doing private sessions and what have you, private readings. And that poor woman, over a period of time, she was getting scratched, they were healing and getting scratched. And she said she woke up one evening and she said she swore at that moment in time when she got scratched and what have you, she said it felt like her as if there was a cat going.
Who's that? Who just did that with the coin?
I heard it. I heard
Seriously?
it slap on
Was that not you?
Yeah.
No, my hands are in my pockets.
I've got, look, my hands are in my pockets as well.
I heard something.
Yeah.
It was like a.
It was like a
Listen,
chink.
it was like this.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like a chink. I didn't
heard
feel
it.
anything. I thought it was behind me,
Mm-hmm.
and then I thought it was you.
Mm-hmm.
What we can definitely say is that there are lots of unexplained things that are happening around us here,
Yes.
and they're not due to us being tired.
No.
So that would be paranormal.
Oh,
It will be unexplainable.
That's...
I'm scared. That don't happen often.
I'm just keeping very quiet, which is unusual for me.
Oh,
What?
something just came up.
Well,
It's-
what an all.
If that's what it was.
So had we caught one of the first stages of a ghost manifestation on camera? Was this odd moving light another encounter with an orb? After close inspection of the tape, we cannot offer any other explanation. So it had been a long and eventful night, and even though Jason's 2 experiments involving the flower and the coin showed no result, the scratches on Carl and the strange object moving on its own were enough evidence to suggest that the Red Line in Avebury could very well be haunted.
That was one of the best experiences that I've had to date. Purely and simply because of the activity in the different areas of the building, both higher level and lower level, at different times during the investigation.
Well, this has certainly been one of the most unusual investigations that I've ever taken part in.
There was the orbs that seemed to be linking with different members of the team.
Yvette's reactions to the experiences of the evening were, I think, due to mass hysteria. We've had that before, and she gets scared very, very easily.
Yvette, yes, naturally she was a little bit, to say the least, petrified over certain incidents that actually did take place. My heart went out a lot to Yvette.
But what I think is the most memorable part of the evening was when Carl came down from taking off a secured camera and 2 scratches appeared on his neck. Now, these were fresh scratches, you could see. They were red, they were like open wounds almost. They were pretty horrific to look at and quite scary. And that sort of made me think about the whole thing in a different light, because it suddenly becomes something not so much as a game and fun, but something that's perhaps potentially dangerous in some way, and that did concern me.
Well, we've come to the end of our 24 hours, and I have to say Derek was very accurate on quite a lot of things. Jason, our parapsychologist, was spooked. And me spending that time alone in that room, I will never, ever forget. I've never been so frightened in all my life. And I think, well, will we ever understand what went on here in Avebury? I don't know. Anyway, we shall see you at our next location. Until then, sleep tight.
Well, literally, we were just stood there working, and then we both kind of looked up, and the thing just shut. That's exactly like that.
Okay, a bit of an overreaction, maybe. When did you notice it was doing that?
I sat here and I looked over and I thought, it's moving.
So there was no one else in this area of the room?
No.